All right, guys, so check it out. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna put this on my head. I know, I look like a nerd. Let me just double check it's recording. Yeah, it's recording. So, I'm gonna make this a separate video. I interviewed Jesus Payan last night, and I was basically, I redid it like 3 times, and just audio only. And I wasn't happy with it, and no matter how many times I did it, I just wasn't happy with it. And I don't know if any of you have experienced that. It's when you're just talking into empty space, and I got self-conscious, you know. Sometimes you get self-conscious just sitting there, you know, talking to no one, and I listened to it over and over again, and I don't know, it just sounded forced. It didn't sound natural. So I don't know, I couldn't release it like that. So I had a brainstorm, and I think this is a better way for me to do these things, you know, when my mind's kind of distracted and I'm walking through a place like this. I don't know, but I don't like the sound of my own voice. I don't think anybody does. So I thought I'd put the GoPro on and go to the woods around Wachusett Reservoir. And what's really good is there's no one at the parking space. This is called Rainbow Cove right here. I'm going to walk down there in a second, probably because it has rainbow trout. But this is like a 5-minute drive from my house. And I had a subscriber, I'm going to walk a bit slower here. I had a subscriber lately say that, I assume it was a she, that they had an encounter around here. This is Wachusett Reservoir. Look it up on Google Maps. It's right on, well, it borders a few towns. Clinton, West Boylston, a little bit of Shirley, Boylston. And look at that, isn't that beautiful? But anyway, so this lady had said that she had an encounter down here. So I flipped, I'm like, please tell me what happened. And she never got back to me. This was in the comments section of my video that I took of the hunter that had an encounter with his son. So lady, if you're out there, please get in contact with me in the comments below or something. I'd love to hear about that, because I've been coming here for 10 years. And of course I didn't have any knowledge of these things up until a few years back. So I might have missed it. I've come here with my family and my son, fishing and stuff. It's a huge area. So unlike other areas, I'm not nervous here, because I know that I've walked a quarter of it. And the road that goes around it is like, excuse me, 21 miles. Now, so this is just a little inlet. It's a cove. For anybody that doesn't know what an inlet is. Hold on, I just want to make sure this is still recording. Yep, she's still recording. Now look at that, isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to hold it for a second, because it's actually easier, and I don't look as much of a nerd. So yeah, I'm going to walk around the coast a little bit. So Jesus Payan, a lot of you will know him as Gonzo from Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite shows. He's been in a ton of movies, on a ton of TV shows, and I tried to list some of them last night, but it just sounded unnatural. I wasn't happy with the recording, like I said. So he has his own Wikipedia page, and IMBD. I always say that around the wrong way. Internet Movie Database, I think is what it stands for. So you can see all the stuff that he's been involved in over the years. I mean, the guy has so much stuff. At one point I was like, I'm going to bore people with just going over the stuff that he's been involved in. Not that it's boring, but it took so long. So this is a better way to have some scenery behind you when I'm discussing a guest, like I've done with other guests. And I'm going to make it a separate video, because I don't want to put this at the start of Jesus's interview, because, you know, some people don't really, they just want to get to the meat right away. So that's what we'll do with this one. So this area is why I came to America, you know. This is the kind of scenery I used to watch as a young boy in the 70s, you know, those, I think I've mentioned this before, you know, like a documentary on the condor out in California or something. You'd have this bearded nerd from some university out in the west coast, talking about some species in this, like, that 70s kind of voice. And that would just hypnotize me when I was a kid. And people always say, why did you come to America? Was it money, or because a lot of people come here for money. I didn't. I just came here for adventure. I came here for this. Not that Ireland doesn't have stuff like this, but this, America just has more of it, and it's bigger. 1,000 times bigger. So yeah, you can see why I came to America. But anyway, Jesus is going to be, I'm going to keep switching back and forth because I'm kind of a bit ADD today. Plus I'm kind of like watching my six a little bit after hearing that somebody had an encounter here. This is the reservoir. I don't know what, I think it feeds all the surrounding towns. I used to think it was Boston. Look at this stuff. That is thick. It's not as thick as some years though. Some years the whole thing's frozen. This year hasn't been too bad. Now here would be a great place to find footprints, right? So anyway, back to my guest. Yeah, so Jesus has his own YouTube channel. It's called Breaking Bigfoot. And he has a load of content on there. He just released a documentary. So go check that out. You'll get to know the man a bit more. I'm going to read some of his stuff, like I tried to do last night, but like I said, it just felt really unnatural and I wasn't doing it any justice, and it was boring. I made it boring. So here we go. Let me see. I'm going to give you his actual personal bio. He was born in 1976 on a US Air Force base in Madrid, Spain. Jesus Jr.'s father was then stationed in England at Bentwaters Air Force Base. Jesus Jr. had his first UFO encounter with his older sister in 1980. I was 10 years old. Less than an hour's drive from Rendlesham Forest, England, where a UFO landed in December 1980. Yeah, that's a pretty famous story. I don't remember the details, but Rendlesham, that's one of the big UFO stories out there. During these years as an adolescent, he also spent 2 weeks hunting for the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. He and I get into this interesting conversation about that. At age 6, Sasquatch entered his life via a book by Arthur C. Clarke, very famous back in Britain, probably over here too, called Mysterious World. I'm just going to keep showing you the scenery here. Hold on, make sure she's running. Jesus Jr.'s history of UFO encounters and abductions was featured in MUFON investigator author D. Gregg's book, A Simple Explanation of UFOs and Extraterrestrials. Okay, so excuse me. So how I met him was through the Bigfoot Canada page, Facebook page. There seems to be, I don't know what it is, but there just seems to be a ton of people on that page that have had encounters and are really authentic. I'm not saying that other pages aren't, but there seems to be like a huge concentration of people on this page in particular. Maybe it's the hostess's charm, I don't know. But also Jesus is he was in Better Call Saul. And I don't know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, but he gets killed in the junkyard. It's quite a grisly death. Sorry for the spoiler, but if you haven't watched it by now, that's on you, sorry. And then he's in Better Call Saul, and I'm like, how are you alive in Better Call Saul? Because I never watched that. And he's like, well, that's a prequel. I'm like, oh, duh. Anyway, so he's going to be coming on. We have a good interview. And I'm just going to let this run for another bit. What are we at? Like 10 minutes? I mean, let's look around for some evidence. Do you think he lives over there in that little island? That'd be a perfect place for him. He could just swim over here for a snack, like a deer or a raccoon, whenever he felt hungry. But I mean, these woods are thick. It's definitely, I've been around this place so many times. I give each little area its own name. Around the corner here, I call it Meditation Cove, because I went through a Buddhism phase like about 10 years ago, and I would come here and meditate. And then there's like an island. It's really hard to get to, and it's full of ticks, so I stopped going there. But look, kids are coming up out here on the weekends. So yeah, it's funny, I'm actually looking for footprints now. I never did that before. And I hope the wind's not bugging everybody. Yeah, we're at 10 minutes. I hope the wind's not bugging everybody, but I found that this is probably a better recording device than, you know, audio wise, than any of the other devices that I have. You know, the phone, you have to have it right up to your mouth. The little camcorder I bought, it was $100. What did I expect? But I wanted it for the infrared when I went down to Oklahoma, and I'm going down to Oklahoma again whenever I can work something out with Dave. Bigfoot and more, Dave. Now, what is that? Answers on a postcard, please. Yeah, so look at that rock. It's just encased in ice. Isn't that pretty? This whole place is pretty. I'm going to make like a 20-minute intro here. So this is going to be the intro to Jesus. And we're just going to basically start off, ready to start up this conversation. So we don't want to, we want to just get to the conversation. That's fine. So let's shut up for a second. I know it's hard for me. Now, the last time I was out on something like this, Elena had spotted a coyote, just like sprinting to my right. I think it was a coyote, it was canine. So Elena, keep your eyes peeled, because I seem to suck at picking things up. You seem a lot better than me. Yeah, so there's a lot of islands here. You see this island right here? It really is like a, people come here, there's like a road that encircles this, and where the actual dam is, you can't really see it from here, but where the actual dam is, people stop and draw, you know, do artwork off the scenery or take pictures. There's a couple of swans. I should have brought my 9mm. Where do you see me getting attacked by a damn swan? No, those things are protected. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't bring any protection, because I know what's around here. I've been just, I mean, like, as far as coyotes and bears and stuff are concerned, I don't think that I've ever seen one around here. But then again, I didn't see that coyote the last time that someone pointed out. So actually, around this corner right in front of me is another cove, and cranberries grow there. Now, you got to walk through like a lot of, what is that? See that black thing? What is that? You can't see it because of the sun. There's a black thing on a tree. It looks like a bag or something, or a hat. Yeah, it's a t-shirt or something. So these would be the woods around the reservoir, and I have walked through these woods, and of course back in the day I didn't really give a damn about, or I didn't have any knowledge of tree structures. I do feel safe here because I've been here so many times, but if I do go missing, it's about half a mile from Trout Rainbow Cove. So there you go. Have I ever had feelings of being watched here? I don't know. I don't know if I have or not. I mean, your imagination can play tricks on you, and I have a great imagination. I mean, it turns out that I may have had encounters down here and didn't know it. Like I said, well, I said it on a Facebook post, but years ago my wife and I were walking our 2-year-old around here. It's on the other side, way on the other side of this, but we heard like a howling from across the shore, and there was like a guy fishing there, and as soon as it started he just picked up his stuff and got out of there. And I'm like, wow, that doesn't sound like a coyote, does it? And we thought it was actually a recording, you know, like if you would record the sound of a predator to keep away certain animals. So we just put it, because it sounded so repetitive, it was almost like the Ohio howl. And it was so repetitive and loud, it did sound like a recording. And now when I look back at it, there's another time we were growled at from behind some trees, and I didn't hear it. My wife heard it, and she's like, well, we had our 2-year-old with us. She's like, we're getting the hell out of here. I'm like, for what? She's like, did you not hear that? No, I didn't hear a thing. So I thought she was just being paranoid with a kid with us and stuff. But yeah, we got out of there. So, and then, you know, I post that documentary up, my Bigfoot movie, if you call it a documentary. It's a series of short videos combined. People are pointing out stuff in that to me, you know. Someone pointed out, I think it's a 102.26 minute mark, there's something black way in the distance at the same time as we're hearing things getting thrown at us. So that was weird. Now I'm kind of getting lost here, to be honest, because I went off the track there. I want to get back down to the water where I know where I am. So, do you hear that? That sounds like a dog, but I'll tell you what, folks, you're not allowed dogs around here because it's a reservoir. That is strange. That is very weird. Nobody brings their dogs around here. So I'm going to get back down to the water and circle back. Let's go through this way. See if I can see that quote-unquote dog. Yeah, this is the cove I was telling you about. This is the other cove. Oh, it's the swans. Just a dummy. Yeah? That'd make a good snack for Bigfoot, wouldn't it? I'm not going anywhere near them. I hear they can be mean. So, that's the story, folks. Can you actually see those swans? I'm not going to try to zoom in because I'm afraid of stopping the video or something. So anyway, enjoy the show, and sorry for the stage fright. Sometimes it happens. You got to be in the mood for this kind of stuff. You got to be in the mood for talking into thin air. And sometimes you just get self-conscious at sounding like an idiot. People have their own styles. People are really good at presenting and can stand in front of a camera, and they have a certain way about presenting whatever they're going to show. Carrie Arnold from Bigfoot Odyssey just released a documentary on Mark's activity down in Oklahoma there that he ended up having to move. You guys should check that out. But Carrie, you know, he's a great presenter. It's the first time I saw him present something, but he seems like a natural at it. Where I don't know if I would have to train for something like that, you know. Oh, there's the swans. They're coming in for the attack. Yeah. It's so weird. I've never seen swans around here. So, yeah, this place doesn't really creep me out, I have to say. I mean, It's well traveled. People come down here and fish all the time. But as you can see, it's not really a good fishing spot right now. I mean, there's not too much ice. You can't ice fish and you can't regular fish. So it's pretty empty right now. But yeah, back to the documentary that is on Bigfoot Odyssey. That is when you sit and listen to Mark's testimony. I forwarded it to a couple of people because when he sits down and talks, you know, and explains, he tells everything, and they've also got some good video footage of what occurred there. And how do you explain all of that away? I mean, you know, you've got somebody so credible telling you what they've seen with their own eyes, and it's just like there's no way that this phenomenon isn't real. You know, it's crazy to think of, and I know everybody on my channel probably already believes them anyway, so I'm preaching to the choir, but I would love to just sit some skeptics down and say, watch this. Well, I actually did. I sent it to a few people, but they'll probably never watch it. I'm like, tell me, is this man just making this up? You know, if you watch it intently right through, you can clearly tell that he isn't, you know. And it's not like a 5-second encounter, a road crossing or something where you could have misidentified, or, you know, it was a one-off. This is an ongoing thing for like a year, and he has evidence, you know, the shadows and the heads popping up and down behind the pool. And this all eventually ended up on him actually leaving the property. And you can see the emotion when he's talking and stuff. There's a lot of emotion behind it. You know, he was afraid for his kids, so it's no joke. I've been rambling for 20 minutes now. Like I said, it's so much easier to do when you're not sitting in front of the camera or you're not talking into empty space. It's much easier to do. Plus I had kind of a heavy head today. Sometimes I just need to get out. That's another one of those, do you see right over there? That arch thing? Well, it's obviously man-made. I wonder what they're for. I don't know, so I'm just gonna keep quiet and let you enjoy the scenery. Yeah, over there, see that? I know I can't keep quiet. Right over there on the other side, that's where we heard the howl, and that's kind of a bridge in the middle of sorts, a little kind of a dam, and that will take you into Clinton, Massachusetts, and that's the end of the dam right over there, and my living room looks onto the back of that. So we were over here where the tree line starts, and there's trails going into there, and I think we walked around, if you follow my finger, I don't know if that works, to that side, and the howling was coming from the other side. You see the other bunch of trees over there beyond this island, obviously. That's where it was coming from, and that's actually where we heard the growl too. So it might be nothing, might have been a coyote, but it just seems strange. Why would this was like the middle of the day, why would a coyote be howling like that? Why would a Sasquatch be howling like that in the middle of the day either? I don't know. Maybe he was mad at the man fishing. Hey, stop taking my trout. So I don't know. Anyway, people get their little planes, you see them, and they just fly over this. You have a lot of rich people in the area, and they'll just fly over here all day, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to just be putting this straight up on the YouTube page, and I have some editing to do with the actual interview with Jesus. So this will come first, and that will be the interview with Jesus. Will be in a couple of days if I get a chance to edit it all. Like I said, just sometimes when you're doing intros, I'm always in the mood to do an interview, but intros are funny, you know. It's like you really have to be in a certain frame of mind, and I wasn't, and I was forcing myself, and it came through. The things you learn about stuff that you've never really done before, you start doing it and you're like, this is what I'm good at, and this is what I struggle with. Would be sure nice to know if these things exist around here. I mean, my question was, could they sustain themselves in this area? I mean, yeah, it's huge, but like I said, it's encircled by a 21-mile road. I think it's a 21-mile road. So, and there's not really any adjoining areas beyond that road. You know what I mean? It's all neighborhoods. So this is kind of cut off from everything else. So I don't hear somebody coming. You're gonna think I'm a nerd. So I'm just gonna say nothing for a while. I get self-conscious about that kind of stuff. Let's shut up for a minute. A couple of elderly folk out for a hike. Good morning.
Taking some pictures?
Yeah, I'm taking a little video. It's beautiful out here. Yeah, it's a really, yeah, it's a nice day. It's not too cold either. Such a nice guy. Yeah. Like I always say, if you're from this area and you have had some kind of encounter, man, hit me up. There's a plane. Where is it? Why can't I find the plane? That's weird. Oh, whatever. So, yeah, just let me know, because this is close and it'll be a nice research area. I already have two, and I don't feel safe going into them by myself because I don't know the area. I'm unfamiliar with it. But this area I know, so it's not as hard. I thought that was a big log for a minute. Well, it is a log, but the other type of log. Yeah, I mean, I've walked a quarter of this, like right around here. So if anything had wanted me, it would have gotten me. Maybe they know me. On Bigfoot Odyssey last night, we were talking about a guy. I just caught the tail end of the conversation, but the guy is in 40 miles away from his house, and the whole forest opens up, and he said it sounded like just hundreds of chimps, and he was having like pine cones thrown at him, and they were paralleling him. And he actually ended up sprinting to his truck, driving home, and in bed that night, 40 miles away, these things are slapping the side of the house. So, what does that tell you? Did these things follow him home? Isn't that crazy? You know, is there a supernatural component to these things? Who knows? I have no idea. I'm gonna go down here and look for some footprints. See, this would be a perfect spot, right? Come down here for a drink after a nice big deer leg. Come down here to wash the deer leg down, leave a few prints. Nobody's going to know the difference. That gets really, you could actually dive in there right now. This would be a sweet spot to fish in right now, but you can see the ice starts over here. Yeah, this is beautiful country, man. And actually, this is where I shot my first intro video to my YouTube channel. I just deleted it then because nobody really wants to just watch me babble about nothing. But you see, there's a lot of activity down here. Nothing with toes though. So I'm gonna go back to my truck, get out of here, and upload this later. I hope you all enjoyed that little walk. Kind of cleared my head out. I don't know, I haven't seen any tree structures or anything like that. But I've never really gone into the woods up here. It's always been around the edge. Up here, I'll follow my ass here. Hold on. Yep. It's very slippy. Don't try this at home, folks. Yeah. These are great hiking boots. Yeah, see this trail right here? See if I can get up here. No, I can't. It's way too slippy. But trying to grab a root or something is ridiculous. There you go. Okay, so well, that's a bit weird, right? But that's grown here. You can clearly see that. What's over here? You can end the video now if you want. I'm just D'ing around. It's just, you know, it's funny. I've probably said this 100 times, but this looks just like the Kaimichi Mountains, which is 1,000 miles away, maybe more. Yeah, it's more. I've driven to Kentucky and that was 900. So it's gotta be more. About 2,000 miles away. It was a 4-hour plane ride. Plane goes on average 500 miles an hour, right? So it's 2,000. And the terrain looks almost identical. Now, I don't know if this is a game trail or what, but it gets pretty thick in here. Maybe there are like one clan of Squatch in here. And that's it. You know, there's only a few of them and they all know each other. Or a part of a family. They wouldn't bother leaving tree structures for other squatches passing through. I know that all sounds crazy, but that's if they even do tree structures. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Huh. Looks like it's embedded in the soil. Come on, throw a rock at me. So, that's it really, folks. I hope you enjoyed the scenery. And I hope this audio comes out okay. But like I said, Jesus Payan is coming up next. Look him up. I like to do this because some of our more intrepid, trained eyes will be able to see something that I don't see. I mean, realistically, you probably have to go deep, deep, deep in order to find anything. I mean, this is very well traveled, like you can see. Man, it'd just be nice to find a footprint or something. That would take my 90% belief to 100. See that? That's canine or something. It's definitely a dog. Like I say, you're not supposed to have dogs around here. I think that goes for all reservoirs. And they're pretty strict. I mean, you can't swim in there. This place was heavily monitored around 9/11. There's a chopper flying over it at all times, in case Bin Laden and the lads were going to poison a water supply. Actually, they did catch, not catch, but apprehend a load of students from the Middle East up in the Quabbin Reservoir really late at night, and they were like, I'm not going to try to guess what they were, but they were in the engineering chemical field or something, and they were totally let go because they couldn't find any evidence that they did anything wrong. If you go to the actual wiki page on the Quabbin Reservoir, starts with a Q, you can read all about that. That was weird. So anyway, I'm going to turn this off now, guys. I'm almost at my truck. Nothing much else to see. Love you all. See you later. And if that's the case, why would they leave tree structures?